Well, a court application by the African Content Movement to compel the SABC to broadcast its manifesto launch has been dismissed with cost. The application was heard by the Johannesburg High Court. Well, the manifesto launch in Durban was delayed due to the court case. It was lodged by former SABC COO He was one of the principal players who steered the SABC to the near financial ruin of the SABC. Now, the SABC says that the ACM should have approached ICASA if it was not happy about the party election broadcast plan. SABC is covering the launch as a news story. The broadcaster has not provided live coverage of manifesto launches of parties who are untested in an election. The broadcaster says no political party could dictate editorial policy to it. All right, so we have SANEF's Executive Director, Kate Skinner, on the line. Kate, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us here on SABC News.
Good afternoon.
Well, first of all, let's get some reaction from SANEF with today's result.
So SANEF members are still discussing the issue because obviously it's just news has just come through. But our initial response is that this was a frivolous case, obviously the SABC needs to cover all political parties equitably, the issue is that the African Content Movement is a tiny new party, and to spend resources on covering its launch live would just simply wouldn't have made sense.
Well, so many of the political parties will have complaints, especially now, and as much as we're getting closer to the elections. How do we guard against that sort of perception that some political parties are not being treated fairly, which of course we'll hear a lot of, and how are we guarding some of the journalists and the media houses at large about this?
Look, I think the legislation regulations are very clear about it. It's about equitable coverage. So obviously those parties that, have proved themselves, have, the majority of people who have voted for them will get more coverage than other parties. And, newcomers, they will get, obviously will get some coverage because they need to be in order to have the chance of actually being voted for. But the issue, which I think is very clear in all the legislation, is around equitable coverage. And it's, so the big parties will get more coverage, and I think that's fair.
I mean, was this quite surprising? One would think that Motsoeneng knows these rules since he was at the helm of the SABC. Was there a sort of push to bend the rules a little bit there?
Well, I think so. And I have to say that he has a track record of bending the rules.
All right, let's leave it there. Thank you very much, Kate Skinner from SANEF, and we'll continue with that story as we go on.